All right, how's everybody doing? After the hero, I said I would do a banjo breakdown, and here I am doing the banjo breakdown. Um, Compared to the hero, there is actually a little bit. There's like a good chunk less gameplay in this trailer than there is in the hero trailer. But the hero trailer had a lot to show off in terms of like the menu thing and all the different spells, so that kind of makes sense. Most of this character's trailer is, oh my god, they put Banjo-Kazooie in Super Smash Brothers, which is, I mean, justifiable. They put Banjo-Kazooie in freaking Super Smash Brothers. Like, let's be honest here. But there's still a lot to talk about. Like, there's still some fairly notable stuff that gets shown. So I am still going to talk about that. Similar to the what's it called? I forget. The hero, I guess. Just call him the hero. Similar to the hero trailer, there is no 60 frame per second version of this trailer. It is only in 30 frames per second, which means frame data measurements are going to be a little odd. There's a couple other reasons why frame data measurements would be odd, but that's a pretty important one. Yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. That's a taunt. We already know it's just a taunt. There isn't really much to talk about. But we'll talk about this. There's three things here. Number one, there's bottle. Actually, there's four things that are important, despite the fact that there's really only two things that we see. One, we see bottles. Two, we see this bridge, which we'll get back to this bridge at like the end of this video. But three and four, we see the initial dash and the run. This is like the first character that has like a distinct difference between his initial dash and his run. Like, they're two completely different things. Like with Cloud and Smash 4 and this game too, it was like he put his arm down when he stopped initial dashing and started running, and like that was the only way you could tell. But with this, it's like, oh yeah, it's a completely different animation because it's Kazooie doing the Kazooie dash thing. I wonder if this means he can run up slopes faster or something. That would be kind of cute, but I don't think they'll actually do that. But yeah, he's got like an initial dash and a run. Here they are running through everybody. Isn't really much going on. Let's talk about this move. This is a jab. I don't see how it could be anything other than a jab. The problem though is that I found this out while I was trying to get this frame data measurement. Let's just look at it. Let's look at this small child trip. It just starts in the middle of the move. It doesn't give us like an idle to move startup animation. It just starts right here. So that kind of sucks because that means there's actually more lag than this, and the lag for this move is like 2, 4, 6, like frame 6, which is already kind of slow. It's frame 6. Maybe it could be like, I don't know, frame 4 or frame, like anywhere from frame 4 to frame 6, but like it's kind of slow, honestly. Unless this is literally the initial start frame, which I could believe it, but like it seems like it's not the fastest jab in the world. Although it seems very strong with how long it pauses after you do it, like after the whole animation goes through, which is kind of cool. Yet again, we have a situation where we just do not see the real startup of the move. Like with this down tilt, we just see a part of the animation and get right into it. His down tilt's about like frame 10, frame 12-ish, which is kind of slow, but it seems to pop them directly up in a very, very convenient combo way, I guess you'd call it. It's just like up and back down. It just seems like that's maybe a free dash attack or aerial like follow-up or whatever. Assuming this is at like 0%, which it seems like it is. If it was that higher, it probably wouldn't, Pac-Man probably wouldn't come back down that fast. Although maybe it isn't. Maybe it's a little higher than 0, of course. Getting into it though, we actually see something really good, which is we see his face, very good face. We see his back air. Interestingly enough, this trailer does not really super accurately display how good this back air is. Moving on to like, this is the end lag of the down tilt. This is the first frame of jump squat, or this is the only frame of jump squat that we see here. And then this is the startup of the back air. So we know that this is frame like nothing, frame 2 of jump squat, frame 1 of being in midair, because it has to be frame 3 of jump squat and then midair. So this is a instant air back air. Full hop or short hop, I actually don't know, but it's one of the two. And this back air is incredibly fast, and it starts at the bottom here and doesn't even hit villager. This is like a frame like 8 back air, which is really quick. It might actually be a little faster than that. It might be like let's just go through the measurement again. It's like 1, 2, or no, this is 1 definitely. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Frame 9 back air. Pretty quick. It's actually really good. Frame 9 back air starts at the bottom here, which is very different for a lot of moves like this. With moves like Duck Hunts, like up air and stuff like that, it sort of starts in the middle, and then like the bird would go down here and then go up here or whatever. The hitbox starts going forward, but this one just starts going down, which is kind of interesting. But it also hits Villager here, and Villager goes nowhere. Just absolutely nowhere. And it seems like the freest juggle of all time. Like, let's just look at, like, he just doesn't go anywhere. And that looks like, or at least I would hope that's, like, mostly hit stun. So you could probably, like, back air, and assuming that this is interruptible, which I hope it is, you can just get another back air immediately after. Which is, I mean, really good. That's just good solid damage, because again, let's look at this down tilt. It pops them up super nice. So down tilt, RAR back air, double jump back air, and that's just a free B&B. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty nice. You can definitely RAR back air out of this down tilt, just judging by like how quickly he can back air non-RAR. A RAR is just like a frame one turnaround in this case, not a RAR. I should stop saying that word. But yeah, turnaround back air here would actually probably work perfect. That would be a, what is it, frame 1 plus 1 frame because of the turnaround, plus 3 frames because of jump squat. So that's 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 13 frames, math. I don't know. I never passed middle school. But just looking at this, it's like a 14 frame follow-up seems pretty accurate for this particular scenario. It seems like you would have to do full hop back air, or at least you would want to do full hop back air to get max damage, but you get the idea. Seems pretty good. And now let's get into this. So this is no doubt his neutral B, but we see something interesting. It seems like there's a sort of tap and hold function for his neutral B. In Banjo-Kazooie, there is a thing where you can just shoot, Kazooie just shoots an egg out of her face. And yeah, he sort of goes back to idle here, and then he shoots another. He like literally just presses the B button again and shoots another. But then he moves into this sort of Kazooie gun, whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called, but this is functionally, like in the games, if this is going to work the way it works in the games, this is basically a stance. It's like he gets access to different moves while he does this. So because this is a neutral B, and because just based on the way that this is being handled, it seems like this walk forward isn't mandatory, which means you can probably walk backwards, which means that this is a fantastic retreating option. So that's kind of sick. Like, really, really good. And the projectiles clank with fireballs. Mario's mashing out more fireballs, so you clearly can't just like trade consistently, because Kazooie will just shoot eggs faster. The only thing that I could see being a problem with this particular move is if there is a limited amount of eggs that you can shoot, like in the games. I don't know why they would do that, because like it seems like these projectiles just generally aren't that good. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like to me. Just like a good option, unless, you know, it might be that when you go into this stance, you just turn around and start shooting, and you can only walk forward and shoot, which would suck, but it wouldn't be that bad. But you could probably like jump back shoot. That would work, unless you can't jump while you're in this animation, which would also suck. There's nothing to tell us that we can't, but there's obviously nothing that tells us that we can. So moving on, though, we actually do see this F smash. Now this F smash is actually pretty quick. Just like looking at it, it seems to be about frame 20-ish, just like when I actually got the measurement, which is good. Like that's a pretty quick forward smash, and it seems to end kind of quick too. Like obviously there's that little animation, but like he interrupts it immediately to F smash Luigi here, like just right there. It seems like it ends like pretty fast, so it's not the worst thing in the world to kind of just throw out. And the hitbox doesn't seem small. Like just look at this whole thing. This is so brutal. I'd apologize to Kazooie, but Kazooie's the rudest bird I've ever met in my entire life. Yeah, I mean, this hitbox doesn't seem small at all. In fact, it actually looks like a pretty good, just like, stuff approaches option. In terms of, like, I'm fishing for a kill, I think you're gonna run at me, dash back F smash. That seems like it's exactly, like, what it's good for. This is just the ledge hang animation, doesn't mean much. Now let's talk about this move. This is the down B. I assume this is the down B, because, like, why wouldn't it be? Unless this is the side B, but it's definitely not the side B, and I'll tell you why in a bit. He shoots out a grenade. The grenade can be picked up as an item, clearly. At least as soon as it bounces off the ground, it can be picked up as an item, because it has to bounce. It might have to bounce once, and then it can be interacted with, but it might not be. Throws the grenade at at DK, and he immediately blows up. So there's clearly a contact detonation with this grenade. It's not like Snake's grenade, which has like a specific timer on it. It's just like at this time, or like when it hits someone, it'll blow up, so long as they don't pick it up as an item. If they can just catch it as an item, that sucks. That's kind of a terrible projectile, assuming that the timer is like in any way long. But the other important thing is that it seems to be very Diddy Banana-esque in the fact that what it does is when you do this down B, it comes out on the side that Banjo is not facing. It literally goes at an arc like behind Banjo, and Banjo has to turn around here in the middle of this trailer to actually like be a part of it. So it actually shoots out at an angle very similar to Diddy's Banana. Obviously, it doesn't have the same practicality as Diddy's Banana because it doesn't trip, it just blows up. But it is an item, you can catch it. Banjo can probably do this down B, dash up, catch his own grenade, and use it as a projectile, which is kind of cool. Like, that's actually just kind of a cool functionality. Very, very interesting. Wouldn't be as good as a banana, of course, as I said before, but would still be pretty good. Looking at up B, this is a cool up B because it doesn't put you in free fall. You can double jump out of it right here. So that's pretty neat. Seems like pretty good. Having a up B that doesn't put you out of free fall, or doesn't put you in free fall, is always nice because you can up B and save your double jump, and like if you get hit, you still have your double jump and you get your up B back. And if you don't get hit, you can still recover with a double jump and an air dodge. And also just having an air dodge like off of your double jump is like pretty, or off of your up B is like pretty nice. Just overall like a pretty good move. Like that seems, it doesn't seem like it goes that high, but like, see, it just seems very Sonic Spring-esque. Might not have a hitbox on it, but like, it's not the worst thing in the world. Well, assuming it has a wind-up that long, it might actually be the worst thing in the world. It seems like it takes a little while. But moving on, we have a gimmick. Hey, look at that. This is like the Invincible Feather Dash, the Wonder Wing, I think it's called. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's Wonder Wing. It's fully invincible, like clearly fully invincible. This is not armor. At least I don't think it's armor. It might be armor, because you are still interacting with the spike thing here. So it might be similar to like super armor, but you don't take the full damage or something, or some crazy thing like that. Obviously, it goes right through a completely active Bowser Jr. F Smash, and that's pretty notable because that move's got a pretty big hitbox. Yeah, but it also burns a feather. It is exactly like how it works in the game, is that you have to have a golden feather to do it, and if you use it, you lose a golden feather. So it seems to me like there's just a limited resource on Banjo, which I guess Nintendo is all about their limited resources now, because the Hero had it and now Banjo has it. Seems like this is just a mechanic to make it so that you can't just side B forever. It doesn't seem like that good of a move because it's probably pretty laggy, but like, I mean, if it's not lag, if it's literally like a Sonic Spin Dash, except it's fully invincible and you can't mess with it at all. Yeah, there should be a limit on that. You shouldn't be able to just spam that move. However, depending on the frame the invincibility comes out, which I imagine the invincibility comes out the frame that Kazooie puts the shield up, like the little block up, which is pretty fast. Seems like actually pretty soon. It might even be a pretty okay reversal option, just like in a pressure scenario, just maybe jump side B or just like side B out of shield or whatever. Jump side B sounds like the correct answer in that case, but I mean, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good reversal. Like if you're ever in a pressure scenario, maybe because his up B doesn't have a hitbox, at least it seems, and we haven't seen his up smash yet, so we don't know how good that is out of shield. And shield grabs are notoriously bad in this game. This might really honestly be a good out of shield option, like one of his best. So that's kind of cool. Getting into it, he's got the bear's got the honeycomb. Haha. It's funny because health bar. Moving on, we have the stage. Probably one of the coolest parts of this whole thing is that we have this stage, and we'll talk about this stage because there's something very weird going on near the end. But it does spin. It actually spins in a circle a little bit, which is kind of weird. We've never really seen anything like that. I don't know how it's going to work, but let's talk about this. This is, well, actually, before we talk about this, let's talk about the final smash. This is the final smash. It's the giant Jinjo. It does this. It beats up K. Rool, so on and so forth. We get to the trailer. That's kind of whatever. It's a final smash. There's nothing really to say. Let's talk about this moment. So here we see a bridge to Gruntilda's face, like just Gruntilda's like hideout, like where it is in the first Banjo-Kazooie. I never played Banjo-Tooie. I only like know a few things about it, but I never really played most of it. So this is all from a Banjo-Kazooie perspective. This is pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Only Banjo is here, and no other characters, despite the fact that only a couple seconds ago we saw Spiral Mountain here with a couple characters and Banjo just chilling. Oh, there's actually a move that I forgot to talk about, and that Banjo does his F-tilt right here. Before I get sidetracked, I actually just want to talk about this F-tilt. This F-tilt seems really good. It's like super fast. It's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Like frame 10 F-tilt. Definitely has a tipper hitbox where the beak is, just judging by the little sparkle here. So it seems like a nice like spacing tool, like dash up F, like pivot F-tilt, spaced a certain way. Probably pretty safe on block. Seems kind of good. Not really that much else to say. It might kill. Just seems kind of okay. Moving on, let's talk about the thing that's actually very interesting to me. The idle animation. No. Piranha Plant. No. The bridge. There is the bridge to Gruntilda's hideout is just not here. It's like you can see where it's supposed to connect, and it's not here. And when we cut back, there's no one on this bridge. And when we cut back, it's only Banjo staring at the edge of the bridge in a very similar way to another thing that we saw in the Simon Belmont trailer. Simon and Richter trailer, I should say. In the lead up to Dracula, it is only Simon or only one of the Belmonts is shown, no other character, which was like, hey, is this a story mode thing? And it turns out, yes, it was. If this is a story mode thing and we're getting a story mode update, that's really cool. But it is important to note, going back to this, where is it? Here we are. This is Spiral Mountain right here. You'll notice that, like, here we are on Spiral Mountain. This, I thought, was just the Omega version, and probably is just the Omega version, but you'll notice the bridge is right here. Like, let's just have Banjo and Kazooie run off here. The bridge is right here, and it's being blocked up by bottles here. Like, you just can't enter, and it seems like it's on a completely different angle. So this is definitely the Omega version of the stage. You cannot go on this bridge, because the bridge is, like, off to the side. And when we look at this version of the stage, which is clearly the regular version, it's just... there's just no bridge at all, and the stage is spinning. So here's my question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Why is this bridge relevant now and no other time? You know? Like, I really kind of think this might be a story thing. Like a lead up to a boss, maybe? Like maybe Gruntilda is the boss of his classic mode or something like that. Or maybe we're just getting a whole World of Light update. I have no idea. But it would be really sick if they just added stuff to World of Light like that. And it is important to note, here's something very cool. Or maybe not very cool, but very intriguing to me, is that you look at this area, you look at the lighting up top, it's very like standard. But then you look at the lighting over here, it's like evil and like dark and like sinister in a way. Despite the fact that just a minute ago we saw that like that area up there all bright and sunny. Like that same tree all bright and sunny. Like nothing's going wrong here. But then you look at this and it's evil. It's like a sinister tree. Actually, I think that's the tree right there. So might have blown that one wide open already. Yeah, maybe it's just hidden back there. I don't know. But yeah, it's like the lighting is just different. Like the sort of mood in the area is very different. Also, there's no bottles. We saw before that bottles was like blocking up the way to the bridge before, and he is just not in that situation. So I mean, I think this is a story mode thing. I think we're getting a story mode update in like 3 or like 4 point or 5 point whatever. I imagine if we get like a big number update every time we get a character, it's going to be like 5.0 when we get Banjo. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think it is. Unless it's like this is the hazard version of the stage, but then how could it spin if you're going to go on this? And the hazardless version still spins, which is kind of odd, but it doesn't have it just does that doesn't make any sense to me. I think this is story mode. I think this is literally just a story mode update that we're getting, and it's like Gruntilda is a boss, and there's a bunch of stuff in here that's like spirits, and maybe instead of like there's a ton of stuff you could do with this if they actually wanted to make like Gruntilda's like lair an actual area in World of Light, which I hope they do. That sounds awesome. That sounds like super fun. But yeah, that's actually pretty much all I have to say. Again, like the hero trailer, this particular video didn't have or unlike the hero trailer, this particular video didn't have a lot of gameplay. Banjo. They put Banjo in Super Smash Brothers. It's just kind of cool. They put a character that everybody wanted in a game that everybody likes. Most of everybody. Not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody. There are people who don't like this game. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say. In terms of the character, he seems very traditional. He seems very like standard operating procedure, pretty good projectile, pretty good normals. Seems to be kind of strong, has a bit of an awkward recovery, maybe is the best way to describe it. Maybe a couple gimmicks with like the side B and the down B, but the down B could end up being a pretty important part of his game plan if it works the way I said it does with like Kazooie's or with like Diddy's banana, like that sort of style. Yeah. I mean, it just seems like a pretty good character. He isn't really blowing the doors off the way I feel like Hero is. He isn't like clearly busted or like major like this character is definitely going to be a bit of a problem at the start. Like he just seems okay. He seems good enough. Seems like he's going to have a lot of good things. He seems like he's going to have a lot of whatever things. He seems all right. The only thing I'm worried about is that all right in this game doesn't necessarily translate to good character. It actually, like you look at a character like Mario, it translates to kind of being forgotten a little bit. Or like you look at a character like Ness, who is kind of okay, and he's like, well, yeah, you can exploit him in a couple ways, and he just ends up not being that good. So I mean, yeah, that worries me. It worries me that Banjo might be kind of not that great of a character, but also I don't think that matters too much because I feel like the people who love this character are gonna play him no matter what. And aside from that, he seems pretty okay. Like certainly got options. Certainly got like pretty cool setup things in terms of like the grenade and stuff like that. Just seems kind of okay. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I'm sure this video is probably not nearly as long as the hero video was, despite my rambling. But yeah, thank you all for watching again, and I will see you next time.